welcome to GGS Railways. My name is Greg. This is my YouTube channel. All right, we are finally going to do it. We are going to run every one of these steam locomotives here on the counter. So these are all American Flyer steam locomotives. We don't typically run these very much because our track in there is not terribly great. And these steam locomotives kind of require a better grade of track or a better setup of track than what we kind of have in there. We usually run the diesels. Those run pretty well because they got smaller wheels and yeah, a little bit different setup. But anyway, so all right. So the story on these is that one time I went through every one of these and repaired them, and all of these were purchased non-working with the exception of the Royal Blue here, which is actually my favorite. So actually a little interesting thing about that. So these aren't in any particular order. As a matter of fact, they're in the order that I took them off the shelf. It just happens that my favorite is at the front, and a little disclaimer, my least favorite is at the back, but I didn't do that on purpose. I promise I didn't. So all right, so these are from various periods in time, and one of them, well, at least one of them, y'all are gonna, some of the enthusiasts are gonna gasp a little bit, but that's okay. You know, all the misfit toys kind of come to Greg. All the things that people have done, kind of weird things, usually come to Greg, and you know what, we put them in our collection, and you know what, whatever, no judgment, right? So all right, so let's go ahead and start talking. So I think the format that we're going to do here is I'm going to talk about the first one, and then we're going to go in there and run it, and then we'll do the second one, and so on and so on. So because there's 16 of these, and that is the answer, by the way, to the community post we did the other day where I mused, you know, how many do we have? It's 16. So that's quite a few to fit into one video. So what we're going to do is we're going to run them 2 laps, and then we'll just move on to the next one. All right, you'll figure it out. It's not that difficult. So all right, let's get started. We got a lot to do here and not a lot of time to do it. So all right, so as I alluded, this is my favorite. This is the Royal Blue, and this guy is gorgeous. Oh my God, this guy is so gorgeous. So you know, the trains that I like, the ones that are kind of, well, I guess for lack of a better word, pretty. I have a little cabinet over there that I display them in, and you know, it has to be something that just really kind of tugs at my heart or just really impresses me to go in that cabinet. And this is one of the things that goes in that cabinet, and typically that's where it lives. Anyway, so we don't run this guy a whole lot just because it is pretty nice and kind of pristine. Now, it doesn't just sit around either. I mean, you've seen it in quite a few videos. All right, so let's talk about what it is. This is the only one that's a little bit, well, obviously different than the rest. The rest of these are, well, I guess with one exception, kind of all similar. All right, so let's just put it that way. All right, anyway, this is the American Flyer Royal Blue. My gosh, I can't tell you how beautiful this guy is. Just blue. I mean, woo. Blue is my favorite color, guys, just so you know. But anyway, so all right, so the Royal Blue, we really need to speed this up, Greg. I need to get 16 locomotives in this video. All right, so this is a 462. Now, I'm going to stop for just a minute and tell you guys what that means, because when I first got into the model train, I was like, what the heck does that mean? And you know what? We're not going to assume that anybody knows anything, because I didn't. So, all right, 462. This is what that means. If you've ever wondered, you got 4 wheels on the front, you got 6 wheels in the middle, you got 2 wheels on the back. That's what that means. So all right, now you know. If you didn't know, for those of you that did know, don't roll your eyes. I promise you, some of the folks don't know that. So all right, so it is a 462. Once again, it is the Royal Blue, and this is a Pacific locomotive, and this came out in 1950. So one of the ironic things about the American Flyers is the values tend to be not as, well, let's say impressive as, like, say, some of the things in the Lionel catalog. Now, what I will say is, in the same way that I disagree with kind of the prices in the Lionel catalog, I disagree with them in the American Flyer catalog in the opposite direction. The values on these guys tend to be really low in the guide, and that really hasn't been my real world experience, or maybe I'm just getting ripped off. But anyway, all right, so let's go in there and we'll run the Royal Blue. You guys will not want to miss this. Let's go do it. All right, guys, so next up we have this 442 American Flyer locomotive. This is a 300. It came out in 1946. Let's go see how it runs. All right, we're doing pretty good so far, right? So, all right, here on the counter we have a American Flyer, and what is this? This is a 282 Pacific, and once again, this is a 462. And yeah, so you might notice that the tender on this guy is missing its shell, but that's actually kind of a good thing to show you guys something that is a little bit unique to American Flyer, and let's show that now. All right, guys, so something a little bit unique to American Flyer. The American Flyer is, of course, S scale in this iteration, and that means it's 2-rail, and that means that it has to get the power from the 2 rails, and there's no 3rd rail as in Lionel. So, all right, so in order for this guy to get power, it doesn't get power through the locomotive wheels directly. In fact, it gets power from the tender. And that's what all this stuff is here. It gets pick up through the wheels on the tender for the power, and it feeds it to this E unit. And these are notorious. That's probably why this shell is off, and probably why it came missing. But these are notorious for sticking and going bad. And a lot of times you'll just buy these, and these have just been eliminated. A lot of people do not want to fool with this. So all right, this one's been worked on a little bit. And it may have actually been by me, I'm not sure, but it looks like we've got some wires that have been resoldered on the contacts. And anyway, so all right, so I don't recall if this one functions well or if the E unit is actually locked out or what, but we'll go check it out. So let's talk about what it is, and I guess that would be good. So once again, this is the 282 Pacific, and it was made in 1952. So let's go check it out. Let's go look. All right, this is the part of the video where some of the collectors are going to lose their mind. So, all right, this is a plastic shell locomotive, and it's actually been repainted. And if that wasn't bad enough, this used to be a silver bullet. If you know what a silver bullet is, they're quite collectible, and they tend to be, well, more than just a little bit valuable. So painting it black, well, now it's just a nice black bullet-shaped locomotive, I guess. So, all right, so what was it? It is a 462, and it was a 356 silver bullet. And had it not been painted, this would probably be the most, well, valuable, let's put that in quotation marks, thing here on the counter. And now that it's painted black, well, it's just a nice black locomotive. All right, let's take it in there. Let's see if it at least runs. Once again, so I may have not mentioned this at the first, or maybe you came in at the middle. So what we're doing here is all these locomotives have sat for probably about 2 years. I repaired them all when I got them, so they ran, when they were put on the shelf. But since our track has been pretty poor, we haven't really run them very much. And so the theme of the video today is to see how many of these will just run, without doing a lot or anything to them. I haven't done anything except for wipe the dust off. So all right, let's go in there and see if this one will run. glasses. All right, how about that? So, all right, so what we have up next here, this is actually somewhat special, and I'm going to take just a moment to explain what this is that we're looking at. So, all right, so this is an American Flyer. This is a 290 Pacific locomotive, and it is once again a 462. And this is special because this is the very first American Flyer locomotive that I ever purchased. I purchased it when I was about 11 or 12 years old at a yard sale. And then I took it to, of all places, Papa Ben's Train Place here in Houston. Different location, same place, same people. And they repaired it really nicely for me, and to this moment in time it works. So yeah, that's a pretty good testament to the repair job that was done. So all right, so let's take this in there and we'll see it run. It will surprise me if this one doesn't run, because this has been tried and true, and once again, very special place in my heart. So I guess I'll go on to say that when I got back into the model train hobby as kind of an adult, my initial thought, and this will explain why there's so many American Flyer steam locomotives, I thought this was the direction I was going to go. I thought we were going to go with the S gauge, the American Flyer, and kind of go from there. And then I got into the Lionel, and so the thing with these American Flyers are they're super nice and they're well built, but they are a pain. They are a pain to work on, and they tend to be a little bit finicky. They tend to have some issues with the insulators on the wheels, which is this white part here. And yeah, so the Lionel doesn't have any of that, and parts are far more readily available for Lionel and some of the others. So we kind of steered away from the American Flyer. Now, I still love them. We still run them, and I'll still buy every one that I can, but that's how we kind of transitioned from American Flyer, the S scale, to O gauge, and well, eventually to pretty much everything else in the world. But anyway, all right, let's get this in there and let's see what happens. Let's do it. All right, so this guy up here is a little bit special. So we're going to take a moment to talk about him as well. So this is a 312 Pacific, and it is a 462. And this is actually one of the most, well, expensive to me, let's put it that way, locomotives that I purchased off eBay. And the reason I paid more for it is because it's got a special tender where this locomotive does smoke, and the way it works is it's got a smoke generator here in the tender. You put actually fluid in this little cap here, and yeah, anyway, you just take my word for it. And there's a reservoir, and anyway, it's got a little pipe between the tender and the locomotive, and the smoke comes out here, but the smoke is actually generated in the tender. I thought that was pretty cool. It actually does work, or it did work the last time I ran it. I don't expect that we'll have any problems with it again today. But anyway, once again, that is a 312 Pacific, and it was built in 1946. And yeah, I like this guy quite a bit. Let's go see if he'll run for us. Let's do it. All right, you're not seeing things. This is very similar to the last one. This is, however, a 312 AC, and it's a little bit different than the last one I showed you. This is also configured 462. It's got the die-cast locomotive and die-cast tender. Not terribly unlike the last one. Now the difference is that this guy, the smoke unit, is actually built into the locomotive as opposed to the tender. That smoke in the tender was actually something of a kind of a sought out thing. there's people that, you know, specialize in rebuilding. I mean, it's kind of, you know, it's kind of a thing where you, if you like it, you really like it. So all right, so let's take this guy in there and let's see how he does. So far we're doing really well. We're almost halfway through the video, and so far I don't think anything's let us down. So let's get in there and let's do it. All right, guys, here on the counter we have a very good example of what I am talking about when I say that value comes from here, not necessarily here. So all right, so if you're to look this particular locomotive, this is a 302 AC locomotive in this book, you would find that it's probably one of the least valuable locomotives in this book. However, I found this guy on eBay and I became pretty good friends with the seller. Most of the accessories and things that you see in the train room came from this man's layout, and I just the nicest person you'd ever want to meet. So he actually had this service before he sent it to me. It runs very well. It's got the original type wires, and I mean, just this thing is sharp. It's nice. It's obviously been loved and taken care of, and to me that's value. That's, you know, it meant a lot to him. It means a lot to me. So I got this guy, like I said, on eBay, and after I received it, I got a full refund. He said, enjoy. Wow, you know, the train people are awesome. I mean, you know, I hope that when the time comes that, you know, my train collection goes, that it goes to people like that, right? So, all right. Anyway, so let's talk about what this is, or, you know, we already said it was a 302 AC. It is a 442 locomotive, which makes it kind of a shorter locomotive. When we were running the steam locomotives on the track, this type of locomotive with the lesser wheels will actually run better on bad track, because the ones with the larger wheels, or the more, no, I guess they're not larger, but more wheels, they tend to like to hit the the curves, and if your curves aren't really good, or you know worn out, they'll just keep going straight because, you know, just it's more wheels to turn and navigate that corner. So all right, so where were we? So this was made in 1950, and this is an Atlantic locomotive. It's very cool. So let's take this in there. I have no doubt this one will run, and then we'll go on to the next one. So at this point we're at the halfway point, guys, and yeah, you won't want to miss the rest, because I promise you these are all so cool, and they all look alike, but man, they're all different in just different kinds of ways. So let's go look. All right, so switching gears here a little bit, we have a 301 locomotive from American Flyer here on the countertop. Now this is a plastic bodied locomotive, and if you've ever run one of these American Flyers with a plastic body, what you'll know is it's actually a lot faster because the body tends to be pretty heavy. But I prefer the cast. Most of the ones that I've shown you guys have been cast. I just like the way they feel in my hand. I like the weight. I guess I'm old school. But anyway, so this is a, once again, American Flyer 301. And let's see what we got here. So this is, once again, a 442. And is a, or it was built in, rather, 1953. Now, interestingly, the value guide had no values plugged in for this, so I don't know if they're saying it's worthless or couldn't determine the value, or I don't know. But you know, it's a good runner. I like it. I enjoy it quite a bit. So let's go take it in there. And now hopefully it won't embarrass us. And so far we've done really well. We're more than halfway through the video, and everything so far has run, so pretty cool. So let's take that in there. Let's see if we can continue the streak. All right, so far they're doing me proud. So all right, so here on the countertop we have a 300 AC. Of course, this is by American Flyer, and once again this is the 442, and got the metal tender. Now some of these guys on American Flyer, they'll have like a cast locomotive than a plastic tender. I don't prefer that, but you know, I get it. They're, you know, transferring, or you know, going over to the lighter plastic. But anyway, so this is a 300 AC, and this is an Atlantic locomotive. It was built in 1950, and once again, you know, kind of a low value. I don't like that word. I really don't like that word in model trains. But anyway, it is a low value. But I love this guy, and works flawlessly, or did. So you know, hopefully, once again, it won't it won't go against what I'm saying. Now, what I'm going to say at this point, now that we're more than halfway through the video, is some of these guys are going to run better than others. You know, like I said, when I got all these, they were not functional. Most of the time, it's the tender that's messed up. But in some cases, the little motors were pretty well worn. So what you guys see is some of these guys scoot around the track pretty good. Others, you can just tell that they're kind of old and tired, kind of like me. So all right, let's take this in there. Let's see what it looks like, and then we'll go on to the next one. All right, so don't adjust your set. So all right, so we just talked about this guy last, the 300 AC, and my goodness, he did us proud, right? So all right, so next up we have a 300 AC, and the reason I have both of these up here on the counter is you might notice that if you look closely, you'll see some differences. So all right, so this one actually is the one that we're going to talk about, and this is the 1950 version. No, this is the 1948 version. This was the 1950 version. So this one would be the newer one. This is the predecessor. So what you'll notice is that this guy has some silver railings here, and this guy has molded railings. And you'll notice that, well, this guy's supposed to have, and he does have on this side, once again, the railing that comes down here. Now we're missing this piece right here. I don't know if it's over there on the shelf or if it came without it. But anyway, so the point is that, you know, while these were sold as the same number, this boiler is actually four separate pieces, and this is one molded piece. So all right, so this guy probably would have been more than this guy. This is the predecessor. A lot of times American Flyer would come out with really, really cool locomotives, and then they kind of make a cheaper version, and I think this would probably have been the less expensive version. Now the mechanicals on both of these are identically the same. So all right, so let's see. Let's talk about this one here. So like I said, it's from 1948, and you know, the same 442 configuration. And yeah, so let's see how this guy runs. Let's go do it. All right, so this is something a little bit different yet. So this is a 302, and I've shown you a 302 AC, but this is a little bit different. This is a 302. It's an Atlantic locomotive, once again in the 442 configuration, and this guy was built in 1948. So this is one of the things I was talking about earlier, where you have the cast locomotive with the plastic tender. And I'm not a huge fan of the plastic tender, but I get it. I really do, I get it. So all right, so let's go see how it runs, and then we'll go on to the next thing. Let's do it. All right, guys, so some of these things I have more than one. This is number 2. This is American Flyer 302 AC, and we looked at one of these earlier. I believe this one's in a little bit better condition. So just to review, this 302 AC, it's an Atlantic locomotive. It is in the 442 configuration, and this guy is once again from 1950. So let's go see how this one runs. Let's do it. All right, we're down to the final 3, and man, so far we are hitting it out of the park as far as these guys functioning. Man, I am super proud, kind of like a proud parent. So all right, so what do we have here on the counter? So this is one of my favorite locomotives, actually. This is once again a cast locomotive with the plastic tender, but my goodness, this guy is sharp. I like him quite a bit. So this is a 293 Pacific. It is a 462 configuration. Once again, the die-cast locomotive with the plastic tender. And this guy came out in 1953. So, all right, this is probably one of the, if you want to talk about desirable locomotives, this is probably one of the more desirable ones. So, all right, let's go see how it runs, and we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are down to the final 2. Man, this has been fun. I'm glad we did this. My goodness, seeing these American Flyer steam locomotives run is just, it does my heart good. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. So, all right, we still got 2 to do, though. So, all right, so this is a American Flyer. This is a 283 Pacific locomotive. It is in the 462 configuration, and this guy would have come out in 1954. So this is a plastic shell locomotive with a plastic tender. Once again, that's not exactly my favorite, but it runs really well. So yeah, design-wise, it was a good idea. It was a good thing to do. Just feel-wise and nostalgia-wise, I just prefer the cast. So all right, let's take it in there and let's see how it goes. And once again, none of these have run in 2 years up until today. So all right, you know, let's just see how they do. Let's do it. All right, guys, we're down to the final one. My goodness, these guys have made me proud. So, all right, so you may recall in the opening that I said that they were in no particular order. However, ironically, the first one we showed was my favorite, and the last one, which is this one, that I was going to show was actually my least favorite. And let's talk about that for a minute. So, all right. I believe this is actually probably the newest locomotive that we have, and this is a 211/60 Atlantic. Of course, it is by American Flyer. It's in the 442, although it's missing its rear trucks, so it's actually just a 44 locomotive. I'm not sure it came without the rear trucks. This one came as kind of a mess. That's part of the reason why I don't like it. It's got the plastic shell, the plastic tender. This is one of the first years that they had the plastic wheels, and I don't know. I guess I'm old. I like the metal wheels with the insulators that are actually problematic. So anyway, so let's see. This was made in 1958. Yeah. Anyway, one of the things that I don't like about this guy too much is it's got like this forward and back switch here, and if you ever move it, it will not function until you mess with it, and yeah. So anyway, so this guy is, you know, it's not my favorite, but I believe it does run, so, you know, I hope so, because this is the last one. So if this one will run, it'll be 16 for 16, and my goodness, that's a perfect score. So all right, let's get in there and let's try it out, and hopefully I didn't badmouth it and jinx it. There's nothing wrong with it, it's just not my style. Let's just put it that way. So all right, let's take it in there and let's give it a run. All right, guys, we did it. We ran 16 steam locomotives in one video. Wow, that was actually a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. Yeah, 16 American Flyer steam locomotives that haven't seen a track in quite some time, and they just perform flawlessly. That, proud parent. That just does my heart good. That just made me so happy. So all right, guys, that's about it for this video. Now, don't go too far. In the coming days, we got some videos gonna come out that I haven't made them yet, but I know that I'm going to make them. You know, we went to the train show yesterday. We got a couple of things. You saw the switcher we got. That might be the deal of the century. That's pretty cool. I like that. And we also got another locomotive that's not the deal of the century, but it's also pretty cool. So you know, I can't wait to show you guys that. And then, of course, we got the unboxing still to do for what's supposed to have been the third reliever locomotive for our American Flyer diesels. Unfortunately, the second one we got, I don't think we're going to be able to make that work, guys. It came in, it's too rough. But anyway, I mean, we'll try. But and the issue is going to be finding the parts. It's kind of an off era of American Flyer. So anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself on that, as always. So all right, so we got that coming up. And then what else do we got? I was thinking about making a video about comparing the Flying Yankee with the Zephyr. Wouldn't that be cool? Man, two articulated locomotives, and we'll just kind of compare them, look at them. I don't know, be fun. All right, guys, stick around, more to come. GGS Railways out.